Okay, people, today let's take a quick look at the Hasbro Marvel Legends Spider-Man 3 Black Suit Spider-Man, or Symbiote Spider-Man, or Tobey Maguire, or whatever you want to call it. It's Spider-Man in black. I did the Marvel Legends Spider-Man No Way Home Electro earlier in the week, so I figured why not continue that trend? Look at another cinematic Spider-Man. This is one of those times where my customization procrastination pays off. Now, a lot of times I finish something and then boom, it's announced. That has nothing to do with me. It's just mostly simple ideas that I figured they were going to do anyway. But I had bought an extra Tobey Maguire Spider-Man to paint into this. Now I don't have to, because they did that and a little bit more. So this makes me happier. Plus I'll get to play with this one. I only customize to stand on the shelf. I don't customize to move around. So this one will be more posable. Anyway, looking at the package, it's what we're used to with Marvel Legends. You got your logo, you have your name, and then you have your warning: choking hazard, small parts. Don't put this in your mouth. You may feel the urge to dance down the street. Some nice artwork on the side along with Marvel Legends. On the back, pretty promotional shot along with an accessories picture and then a bio, a background for this version of Spider-Man. The accessories and the warnings once again in case you missed it. On the other side, mugshot, some window to let the light shine in, the name, this texture in blue, I really like that. And then of course Marvel Legends. On the top, that sinister symbiote spider. On bottom, your legalese, your barcode. Let's get this open, see what's going on here. Oh, look at that. If you know me, you know that I love a good-looking black and white costume. Or, well, I guess in this case, it's a black and silver costume. And yeah, for the most part, this is reuse of the previous Tobey Maguire Spider-Man figure. Same shoulders, same arms, same hands, same feet, same legs, all the way up to the hip, and then same crotch piece. During the live stream, they mentioned that they retooled the torso, and that's where I either learned or remembered that the logo did change for the symbiote suit. Here is, well, okay, this is the No Way Home version, so it's slightly altered, but here's the regular Spider-Man logo for Tobey Maguire, and then the symbiote gets a bit more sinister with it. As it should, because it tends to put dirt in your eye. So I thought, cool, new upper torso piece. Turns out the lower torso piece is also new. It's harder to tell here on the front because it's just web pattern, but the biggie is on the back because the back logo extends from the shoulders down to the waist. On the regular suit, you have the 2000s Spider-Man movie logo, and then for the symbiote, you can see, again, it gets more angular, kind of sharp, just the same general shape. The silhouette is the same though, so I am assuming that they took the base sculpt and then tweaked the details on top of it. Like they kept the web pattern, but changed the logos themselves. Now, I don't know all the differences between the Tobey Maguire movies and No Way Home when it comes to this suit. I know that they said they toned down the general detail, like the raised webbing was less raised. Then there's the neck pieces. I had forgotten that there were separate necks on the No Way Home Spider-Mans. And at the time it was like, well, I wonder why they did that. Could it be that they had planned that far ahead to do the symbiote suit with the new torso? I know the neck probably doesn't matter much. It adds to the part count, but they didn't have to redo the neck. So maybe there's a reason for that. And then when it comes to the mask, we'll look at that more when it comes to accessories, because out of the package, this Spider-Man comes with the Maguire head, the unmasked, symbiote-tainted Peter Parker. You gonna cry? This looks great, and I think the hair is doing the heavy lifting here because, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's the same actual face sculpt. I think there's just a bit more inkjet to it, some more shadow around the eyes, make them look sullen, and then I keep wanting to say 5 o'clock shadow. I'm not sure if there is or not, or maybe that's me projecting onto this version. That's another benefit of them switching to separate hair pieces. Rip this off, put this on, and suddenly you have a different version of Peter. And I know it looks different. I'm one of those guys that you change your haircut up and I have to look at you for several more seconds to remember who you are, but I really think it's the same face sculpt. I keep looking for paint blotches or bleeding, but for the most part, this is fairly clean. I mean, it's just the silver on top of the black plastic, but there may be some light spots here and there, and where it misses in places, but it's not really bad. Well, okay, the front of the boot right there may go off, but No, for the most part, it looks great. But this reusing No Way Home sculpt means this is actually an older Tobey Maguire when they're trying to go for Tobey Maguire from 20 years ago. So the shape of the body itself may not be as svelte, may not be as built as Tobey back in the 2000s, but I don't know. I think my brain is kind of just mixing all the versions together. So when I look at this, I think, well, okay, even if I wasn't, well, okay, there's still Tobey details on this suit, huh? But if you went like this and, well, okay, yeah, that's Tobey Maguire. Andrew Garfield would be taller and thinner. Tom Holland shorter. So in the overall scheme of things, as long as Tobey's somewhere in between these two, it works. But that's me justifying my brain pattern. With this being a new upper torso piece, changing up the shape would have been cool too. Maybe a bit broader, maybe a bit thicker in the pec area, just to change it up slightly. I just know I like the black and silver, and it'll look good on the shelf. Articulation-wise, there is a dumbbell joint at the top of the neck. With the Parker head on, can look up this far, not a lot of down. And that was one of the problems we ran into with the previous figure, the previous version. There's a butterfly joint that goes forward and back. Pin coming out to the shoulder rotates around with a hinge that goes up to there. Swivel at the bicep. Double elbow goes up most of the way. Swivel at the wrist with a hinge in and out. Dumbbell joint at the mid-torso, hinge at the waist. All together, it crunches that far, which is great. Arcs back even further. Tilt, rotation. Slight drop down to the hip, which goes out to a ball that allows the leg to kick up to here and back a little and then out. I still can't do the full split, so not as good as a few Spider-Mans. Swivel at the thigh. Double knee. Oh yeah, easy. You're trash, butt. Hinge at the ankle, goes back, goes forward. Ooh, that's nice. And then front-facing pin for rocker. For accessories out of the package, there are two fists. Those are easy enough to pop out. It is Marvel Legends. And thankfully, we are back to the hand assortment we got with the 3-pack, not the single pack. There are 2 thwip hands and then 2 wall crawling hands. The head also pops off, and there is an alternate masked head that should be easier to pop on there. There we go. And ooh, that just completes the look, but it is the No Way Home head. Between the early movies and No Way Home, they did change up the angles. They did change up the webs. So it's not quite what this figure is supposed to be. A Spider-Man 3 symbiote suit Spider-Man. So I would have liked to seen the eyes kicked up a bit more. Again, that sinister look. And then the webs changed to what it was supposed to be then. I mean, we got new torso piece. Could have gotten a new head sculpt. And now that I'm zoomed in this far, talking about paint a minute ago, it's rough in a couple places. It looks like it missed here, so it's off to the side, but you get straight on or this way, and it doesn't show as much. Yeah, you get back from it. It's Spider-Man 3 symbiote suit, but there are some complaints to be had. At the same time, this is absolutely fantastic. So display-wise, I may do this and then add on this, because there's nothing better than a little Venom flare to go along with it. I went to go slip it over the head, and this hoop right here isn't big enough, so you have to actually put it on first and then come back around with that. It kind of hangs by this hoop I had to go through. In perfect world, it would be over here. Oh, is that supposed to be on the face like that? Almost like Venom's about to eat his head? But gravity does this to it. Maybe some heat, I can reshape it or something. But the teeth sticking out, and around here on the back, and the Venom face, those eyes peering out. Yeah, this just adds a little extra frosting to it. Plus you have this tendril coming over to here. Maybe if you can get that into that position. Oh yeah, okay. Put that under the arm and it holds it better in place, like, and almost. Then you can see this hook here on the back of this arm. It works much better under the arm. Actually down onto the torso, kind of sneaking around. There it is from the back, all ooey gooey. Okay, yeah, that works. The Parker head looks okay on some of the comic book bodies. That makes it way bigger though. Coulson's a little shorter and a black suit, but I don't think Parker's working for the government. How's that look size-wise? That's better. That's more in scale. So maybe take the tie off, paint the shirt underneath. Find us some shade. Size-wise, this Spider-Man stands slightly under 6 inches tall, which is the same as the No Way Home Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, and why wouldn't it be? Again, these are reused parts, but it also looks pretty good next to Sandman. This is also No Way Home, but it's a man made of sand, so if I want a Spider-Man 2 display, I would probably use this. Although, like I said in the Electro review, I wish there was a lot more pizzazz to this, a lot more attachments. But what I'll end up probably doing is just making one big cinematic Spider-Man display, which is mostly No Way Home, with a few bits and bobs here and there. Like I said, as long as Maguire is somewhere in between Garfield and Holland, then I'm pretty good. And I think their actual heights are closer than this, but in my brain, in the movies, this is how I picture them. I doubt this is gonna happen at this point, but it'd be interesting. So at the end of the day, it essentially does what it needs to do. Be a cinematic symbiote Spider-Man. And that's really all I was looking for. Black and silver, the emo haircut, some Venom goo. I'm good. Now, again, we're paying the Spider-Man tax on top of standard prices, on top of things going up in general. I don't know, one off to the side. Because we don't have any other villains from this movie, do we? Other than No Way Home Sandman. It would be nice to get an updated Goblin Jr. and then actual Eric Foreman Venom from that movie. And then maybe an updated Mary Jane. We're going in that direction, right? Have access to those older characters? I know it would be some new sculpts, but it could also be like build a Sandman attachment wave or something. Just get some more of that. I don't know. Either way, I'm pretty happy with this, although it could have been better. There could have been added things, but you know me. Bye.